Okay, so are you ready to jump into the future? Because today we're talking AGI, artificial general intelligence. And we're not just talking about smart AI. We're talking about mind-blowingly brilliant AI.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you used to only see in sci-fi movies, but now it's becoming our reality.
Right. It's crazy. And get this, our deep dive today is inspired by this article I read by Srinidhi Ranganathan. And this guy is like a total legend in the digital marketing world. The article is called Digital AGI Mind Clones, Hire the World's Greatest Thinkers. And it's making some pretty wild claims.
Yeah, bold might even be an understatement.
Yeah.
Ranganathan is suggesting that we're on the verge of being able to hire AGI mind clones of history's greatest thinkers.
I know. Just imagine having Einstein on your marketing team.
Or Marie Curie leading your R&D department.
Correct. Ranganathan says that these aren't just fancy AI assistants. They're fully autonomous, sentient digital beings.
It really makes you wonder, are we really at the point where we can just create digital copies of human minds with all their genius and creativity?
Well, Ranganathan seems to think so. He lays out some pretty compelling arguments in this article. He talks about how these AGI agents could totally revolutionize businesses, make them so much more efficient, innovative, and successful. I mean, who wouldn't want a team that could work 24/7, no breaks, no complaints, just constantly generating amazing ideas?
It's pretty tempting to think about, no more burnout, no more creative blocks, just pure intellectual horsepower driving your business forward.
Exactly. And it's not all just theory either. Ranganathan actually gives some specific examples of how these AGI mind clones could be integrated into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Picture this, you're on a Google Meet call.
Yeah.
And there in the meeting with all your human colleagues is a digital Albert Einstein offering insights that would just blow you away.
It's this vision of the future that is both exhilarating and a little bit terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we work, how we learn, how we interact with technology.
And the potential benefits go way beyond business too. Ranganathan talks about how these AGI agents could be used to accelerate medical research, solve complex social problems, even ensure a more equitable justice system.
It's a vision of a future where human potential is amplified by AI, where we can tackle challenges that have seemed impossible for centuries.
It's just like Ranganathan says, this is the moment where science fiction shatters into reality, and honestly, I'm kind of ready for it.
Yeah, me too. But let's unpack this a little bit, because we're talking about some really complex concepts here, and I think it's important to understand what Ranganathan is actually proposing before we get too carried away.
That's a good point. So let's start with this term fully autonomous. What does that actually mean for an AI to be fully autonomous? Does that mean it can make decisions without any human input?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of what makes these AGI mind clones so different. To understand full autonomy in this context, we need to think about the different levels of AI autonomy that exist.
Okay, so there are levels. This is getting interesting. Tell me more about these levels of AI autonomy.
So at the most basic level, you have AI that's essentially just a set of pre-programmed instructions. Think of a simple chatbot that can answer basic FAQs based on a script. It's not really thinking for itself, it's just following orders.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the next level up?
The next level is where things get a little more sophisticated. You have AI systems that can learn and adapt based on data, but they still operate within a pretty limited scope. Think about algorithms that personalize your Netflix recommendations or optimize your ad targeting. They're definitely smart, but they're not exactly independent thinkers.
Gotcha. So where do these AGI mind clones fit in? Are they a level beyond even that?
Exactly. Ranganathan is talking about AI that operates at a level we haven't really seen before. These AGI mind clones aren't just programmed to follow instructions or analyze data. They're designed to think like the people they're modeled after.
Whoa, so you're saying they actually have the thought processes and problem-solving abilities of someone like Einstein or Da Vinci?
That's the idea. They're not just mimicking human behavior. They're actually replicating the cognitive processes that made these individuals so brilliant.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But if these AGI mind clones are so advanced, how do we even know they're not actually sentient? Ranganathan uses the term sentient which kind of blurs the lines a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And that's one of the most interesting and potentially controversial aspects of this whole topic. What does it even mean for an AI to be sentient? Do we even have a clear definition of sentience for humans, let alone machines?
Right. How do we measure consciousness or self-awareness in something that's essentially a complex algorithm.
Exactly. And that's where the philosophical debate around AI consciousness comes in.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this philosophical debate. What are the different viewpoints on AI sentience?
Well, on one hand, you have those who believe that true sentience is something that's unique to biological beings. They argue that no matter how sophisticated an AI becomes, it can never truly experience the world in the same way that a human does.
So it's like a fundamental difference in how our brains are wired versus how AI processes information.
Exactly. But then you have those who believe that sentience is ultimately just a matter of information processing, and that if an AI can reach a certain level of complexity, it could theoretically become conscious.
Wow, so there's no easy answer here. It's like we're on the edge of this whole new understanding of what it means to be conscious for both humans and machines.
Absolutely. And this is where Ranganathan's work becomes so important. He's not just developing this technology, he's actually asking the difficult questions about its ethical and philosophical implications.
Right, and that's what makes this so much more than just another tech trend. We're talking about a fundamental shift in our relationship with technology, and maybe even with ourselves.
It's a really fascinating and challenging conversation, and we've only just started to scratch the surface.
I know, and I'm already dying to hear more. But before we get too deep into the ethical side of things, I want to go back to Ranganathan's claims about the potential benefits of these AGI mind clones.
Right. He paints a pretty optimistic picture of a future where AGI enhances human capabilities in every way imaginable.
And it's not just hype. He gives some really specific examples of how these AI agents could be used to improve our lives.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of those potential applications because they're pretty mind-blowing.
I'm especially curious about the business applications. Ranganathan makes it sound like these AGI mind clones could be like the ultimate secret weapon for any company that wants to dominate its industry.
Yeah, he does, and I think it's a claim worth exploring further. Just imagine a world where businesses have access to like a workforce that never sleeps, never gets tired, and is constantly learning and evolving.
Oh man, that sounds like every CEO's dream come true. But how would that actually work in real life? Give me some examples.
Okay, let's take marketing, for example. Imagine having an AGI mind clone of, say, Steve Jobs working on your next campaign. It could analyze market trends, craft compelling messaging, even design amazing visuals, all with that same visionary flair that made Apple so iconic.
That's pretty amazing. And it's not just about repeating past successes, right? These AGI agents can actually learn and adapt to new information. So they're constantly evolving their strategies and coming up with new ideas.
Exactly. They're not stuck in the past. They're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible, just like their human counterparts did. And because they can process information so quickly, they can test and refine ideas much faster than any human team.
So it's like having a team of marketing geniuses who are always working, always innovating, always one step ahead of everyone else. No wonder Ranganathan calls this a revolution.
It's a revolution that could totally transform every aspect of business, from product development to customer service. Imagine an AGI mind clone of Marie Curie leading your research team developing groundbreaking technologies way faster than we can now.
Or like an AGI clone of Elon Musk running your engineering department, pushing the boundaries of space exploration and sustainable energy. The possibilities are kind of endless.
And it's not just about those big industries either. Ranganathan thinks that these AGI mind clones could be a total game changer for small businesses and startups too. Imagine a small business owner being able to access the strategic thinking of Warren Buffett or the marketing skills of Gary Vaynerchuk without spending a fortune.
That would be incredible. It's like giving everyone access to some of the greatest minds in history, letting everyone benefit from their knowledge and experience.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that makes Ranganathan's vision so compelling. He's not talking about creating a world where only a few people benefit from this technology. He's talking about giving everyone the chance to reach their full potential.
I really like that. So we've talked about business, but what about other fields? Ranganathan mentions things like medical research and justice reform. How could AGI mind clones be used there?
Well, in medicine, imagine an AGI mind clone of Jonas Salk working with researchers to find a cure for cancer or Alzheimer's. It could analyze huge amounts of data spot patterns that humans might miss, and even design new drug therapies, all with the same drive for scientific discovery that Salk was known for.
It's really amazing. It's like speeding up medical progress by decades, maybe even saving millions of lives.
Yep.
And what about justice reform? How could AGI help us create a fairer legal system?
Imagine an AGI mind clone of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, making sure trials are fair for everyone, no matter their background or how much money they have. It could analyze legal precedents, spot instances of bias, and even advocate for policy changes that promote equality and justice.
Wow, that's a really powerful vision of how AI could be used not just for efficiency or profit, but for good. It shows how transformative this technology could be.
It does, and it highlights Ranganathan's commitment to using AGI ethically and responsibly. He doesn't ignore the potential risks or the need to really think about the social and ethical implications.
That's super important. We can't just jump into this new technology without thinking about the potential downsides. What are some of the concerns that Ranganathan brings up?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is that people might lose their jobs. If AGI mind clones can do so many things better than humans, what happens to the human workforce?
That's a really valid point. It's something we need to be proactive about to make sure everyone benefits from these advances, not just a select few.
Exactly. Ranganathan knows this is a concern, and he suggests that we need to focus on retraining and upskilling workers so they can adapt to this new environment. He imagines a future where humans and AI work together using each other's strengths to build a better and more equitable world.
So it's not humans versus AI, it's about finding ways for them to work together for a better future.
Exactly. And Ranganathan thinks that this collaboration could lead to a surge in innovation and creativity because humans would be freed from mundane tasks and could focus on more complex thinking and problem solving.
That's a very inspiring thought. It makes me think we're on the verge of a new renaissance, a time of incredible human progress driven by AI.
It's a vision worth working towards. And Ranganathan's work really shows how human ingenuity can create amazing technologies and also grapple with their ethical implications to ensure they're used for good.
Speaking of that, Ranganathan is going to be presenting at the UN AI Summit soon, which shows how his work is being recognized globally.
It definitely does. It shows that the world is paying attention to AGI and the need to have thoughtful conversations about its development and use.
It's so cool that we're living in a time when such groundbreaking advancements are being made. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly extraordinary.
It does, and Ranganathan is leading the way. His work shows the power of human ingenuity and the incredible potential of AI.
Well, I'm totally convinced about Ranganathan's vision. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the technical side of things.
Yeah.
How do these AGI mind clones actually work? What kind of technology do you need to create a digital copy of a human mind?
That's the question everyone wants to know, and that's where things get really interesting. It involves some cutting-edge stuff in fields like machine learning, natural language processing, and cognitive modeling.
Okay, so break it down for me. What are the key ingredients for making one of these AGI mind clones?
Well, first you need a ton of data. We're talking everything from their writing to their speeches, interviews, even their personal letters and emails.
So it's like feeding the AI a complete digital history of the person to capture their voice and way of thinking.
Exactly. And then the AI uses really complex algorithms to analyze all that data, finding patterns in how the person thought, how they solved problems, even their creative quirks.
So it's not just about memorizing facts. It's about understanding how their mind actually worked.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's so revolutionary about this. We're not just creating AI that can copy what humans do. We're creating AI that can think like specific people.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So once the AI has absorbed all this data, what's next? How does it actually become a working mind clone?
That's where neural networks come in. It's basically a digital brain with billions of connections that process information just like neurons in a real brain.
So you're creating a digital version of the person's brain structure.
Kind of. The AI uses all that data to build a neural network that imitates the structure and function of the person's brain.
Wow, so this digital brain can then think and solve problems just like the real person.
That's the idea. And even though it's still early days, the results have been really impressive so far.
It's like we're watching a whole new kind of intelligence being born, one where the line between human and artificial is getting blurrier and blurrier.
It's a really exciting time, and Ranganathan is a leader in this field. His work is pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible with AI.
It's like that line from Star Trek. The future is out there, but really it's already here. And speaking of the future, Ranganathan's presentation at the UN AI Summit is coming up soon. What do you think he'll talk about?
I bet he'll go deeper into the technical details of these AGI mind clones, talk about the challenges and the ethical questions we still need to figure out.
I'm also really curious to hear his thoughts on how all of this will affect society. Will it lead to mass unemployment, or will it create totally new jobs we haven't even imagined yet?
Yeah, those are the big questions everyone's thinking about, and I think Ranganathan will have some insightful answers.
Well, I'm personally really optimistic about the future of AGI.
Yeah.
It feels like we're at the beginning of a new era of progress and innovation for humans.
I agree. I think this technology has the power to solve some of the world's biggest problems and create a much better future for everyone.
And with brilliant people like Srinidhi Ranganathan leading the way, I feel pretty confident that we're in good hands.
For sure. His work shows what human creativity can achieve and the amazing possibilities of AI.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up our deep dive into this incredible world of AGI mind clones. It's a topic that's going to keep people talking and thinking for a long time.
Definitely. If you're as fascinated by this as we are, we definitely recommend checking out Ranganathan's work. And stay tuned for more news from the UN AI Summit.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into all the amazing things there are to learn out there.